Hello and welcome to our 12th episode of The Lah Project with me, your host Han Royani, and my co-host
BJ.
And we have a guest today. He's a recurring guest, I would say. We already have 12 episodes and he's already in 4 of those episodes.
Oh yeah, Ken. Oh,
yeah. So
30%.
please 30%. Please welcome to the show, Sheikh Irfan Mansoor.
Hi.
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, so we're gonna get into what we were talking about in our last episode.
Yeah.
So it was very
Felt so long ago. Felt so long.
I forgot
ago.
to shower. It was so
I
long
forgot to shower. Yeah, exactly.
I forgot to shower. It's so long
no, but
ago.
to be fair, you should. I'm glad that you chose to wait a week.
Yep.
And then wear it
Repeat
again.
the same thing.
Repeat the same thing
I
because it's
forgot
good.
what is
It's
last
good,
week,
dude. You
I
forgot.
forgot.
Understandable.
forgot.
It's that fire of
Yeah.
a.
I remember
outfit.
wearing the same socks from last week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wore the same socks as well.
Yeah.
I forgot to change.
Yeah.
Forgot to change.
Yeah.
And like that's the thing.
Yeah, but anyway, we were talking about conspiracy theories last time, and we got into some heavy ones like 9/11 and a bunch of other stuff. But we didn't get to finish talking about what I think was quite a nice topic of conspiracy theory. So we were talking about 9/11 and the repercussions and some of the things that we thought happened prior to 9/11, with why it happened and stuff like that. So we mentioned, the dancing Israelis. We mentioned how the Pentagon lost $2 trillion. We mentioned how they used 9/11 as a way for US to get into the Middle East and pretty much destabilize the whole region. So we're gonna get into Dr. Jolly West, okay, which is I just found out about this also. That
In the last episode?
In the last episode,
Yeah.
which was a week ago.
Yeah.
Which was a week ago. No idea.
Which was a week ago. Why don't you start us off, BJ? About
Yeah,
Dr.
so
Jolly
we were
West.
talking about Dr. Jolly West and how he was the leader or he was the head of the CIA operation MK Ultra, which involved MK Ultra as a whole was basically a movement for the CIA to research, investigate, and basically implement a way to control the minds of the population of a human being. Basically, you can obviously thinking about it, you can use that for there's many practical uses like propaganda just to begin with. But he was a big proponent of using psychedelics as essentially as a tool to control these minds. And while until today we don't actually know the full implication of his studies because I'm pretty sure number one, they're not published.
Yeah.
Okay. And
likely.
another thing is that I think they're also very, very heavily classified until today. The CIA does not want to
of
let
course.
go of that.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Dr. Jolly West. I think where I left off was that he was the psychological evaluator for
Charles Manson.
Charles Manson and Jack Ruby, right? So,
And previously, before he went to see them, basically, what the guards saw from the behavior of Charles Manson and Jack Ruby was that they thought that they were very civil. And
very
mild-mannered,
respectful
nice people.
Yep.
But then after a meeting with Dr. Jolly West,
After the first psych eval, both Charles Manson and Jack Ruby were reported to suffer from hallucinations and bouts of schizophrenia. Even Dr. Jolly West himself, in his first preliminary psych eval of both of those people, he diagnosed with schizophrenia, which both of these people did not have any history of schizophrenia before.
Also, should say Jack Ruby was the guy who killed Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oh, yes,
after he was
The supposed killer of JFK.
the alleged killer of JFK. Maybe JFK is still alive. Maybe JFK turned to Tupac.
Oh no, I'm pretty
we
sure.
don't know.
I'm pretty sure he's dead, dude. His
he-
brains were
his brains were all over his wife.
All over his wife. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that was.
But are you sure he's not Tupac?
No.
You sure? Do we? I mean,
You
I mean, you've never seen
could
Tupac
take
and
a
you've
while.
never seen Tupac and JFK in the same room.
Yeah.
and 40, 50 years is quite a good time to build that tent.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
he was training the whole time.
He was standing the whole time.
He was standing the whole time.
That's why there was no roof. That's why there was no roof. Oh my God, we just figured it, guys. We figured out the JFK assassination.
Oh my God.
It was
JFK's Tupac.
PDD went back in time. Okay, to kill JFK.
Yeah, you know how much P Diddy loves those white boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what that was.
You don't know what that was?
I don't know what it was. I don't know why I did it.
No,
I don't
it's
know.
fine, man.
Yeah.
Yo, MK Ultra.
Okay, he's the one keeping us in check. Holy shit. Yeah.
Jolly West.
Jolly West.
Dr. Jolly West.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which sounds like I'll be real here.
Made up name. Holy
Jolly sounds made up.
so made up.
Jolly
dude.
West.
Jolly West.
Come
yeah.
on, guys. You couldn't think of a better name.
The Jolly Doctor.
Yeah, the Jolly
come on,
Doctor
Come on, man.
and the West. Like the
What kind of kid came up with that name?
yeah. Sadeh East. What?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, I think we mentioned a lot about international conspiracy theories, right? In our previous episode,
Right.
and also like with Dr. Jolly West and stuff. Do you guys happen to know any local conspiracy theories?
I think Irfan has this
I have
covered
a
on
few.
this, right?
I have a few.
We're gonna
Okay,
get banned.
Operasi Lalang. So this was a major crackdown undertaken by the
PDRM.
PDRM, sorry, thank you. So apparently it was to see to the arrest of 106 to 119 politicians using without trial under the Internal Security Act. So this was after the May 13th riots, 18 years earlier,
Right.
but they specifically went to a few newspapers. The Star, Sinchu Jitpo, and two weeklies, The Sunday Star and Watan. And the objective was to diffuse racial tension that had reached dangerous proportions. This was in 1987. Okay. Now, I don't really know what else to talk about this effect, apart from the fact that basically Mahathir went after everyone that didn't agree with him. Let me see some notable detainees.
But he had, I mean, both politically, especially politically. I mean, our current Prime Minister can be can be witness to that, of course.
Yep.
But he went. I mean, politically, he went after everyone. Like,
He went after everyone.
He changed the whole how royalty is above the law thing. He changed that.
I think he put
changed
in
that
the
to
Rukun Negara as well.
Include murder. I think.
Included murder as well. Rukun
Sorry,
Negara.
sir?
Yeah.
No, like the royalty is above the law unless it's murder.
Oh.
You know.
Oh,
so
okay.
like murder cases cannot be,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
swept under the rug.
Yeah.
So
because
and then he instituted until today, which I think is UMNO's worst policy, which is that if you want to challenge the president for the presidency of UMNO, you have to have a 30% backing from the delegates minimum, which essentially kept him in power for this 22 years.
Yeah.
how long was he in power again?
22.
22 years.
22 years.
I love the fact that he was in power for 22 years and he was still like, oh no, democratically though.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like 22 years. What kind of...
And
I'm not a dictator.
While he was in there for 22 years, two of his sons became billionaires.
yeah. But
Like dollar billionaires, you know,
dollar
not
billionaires.
ringgit billionaires,
Yeah.
you know.
So these were notable detainees. You had Ibrahim Ali, who was UMNO MP for Pasir Mas, who's where I'm from. Hi. Lebu Akil, represent. Muhammad Nasir Hashim, Insan Chairman. Lim Guan Eng, DAP MP for Kota Melaka.
Lim Guan Eng?
Lim Guan Eng.
He was detained, eh?
Yes.
Damn.
Lim Kit Siang, DAP Secretary General. Chandra Muzaffar, Aliran Chairman. Muhammad Sabu, PAS Youth Chief. Kapal Singh, DAP
Mas Sabu
Deputy
was around
Chairman.
back then, eh?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Tan Chai Ho, MCA. Tan Siong Kiao of the DAP MP for Kepong. Tuang Pik King, rights activist. Minakashi Rahman, social activist. V.
This was in
David.
87, you
This was
said,
87.
right? Ah, damn.
Yeah, Pian Horn. Bro, a lot of these people just went missing, huh?
Yeah.
Some people just went missing.
No, they went missing basically for saying something against Mahathir.
Yeah. It was
Oh my
anything. It was anything.
Yeah, clearly not a dictator.
Clearly not a dictator. For those of you, I'm going to explain a little bit of my history. I studied political science in university because I was like,
Interesting.
100% I don't want a job. Don't give me a job. I want to study political science, right?
So did I, by the way.
Good.
I was gonna say,
That's not the reason why.
What did you say? What did you
I
say?
studied political science because I was actually interested in politics.
I was
Like
very interested.
the behind the scenes. Yeah.
I wanted
Yeah.
to, so my thing was like, I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to go into human rights.
Yeah.
And then that didn't happen because money and also family stuff happened
Right.
2020.
Right.
But I have this whole political science thing where I just read a lot of stuff. I wasn't the best student. I'll be the first person to say this. I wasn't the best student. But what I do know is that politics is a very dirty game.
Yeah.
To be a good politician, and this is a quote from a friend's father who's I'm not gonna out him, but he's quite connected. And he was like, to be a politician and to come out clean takes a very different kind of person.
Yep.
As in to dip yourself in the pool and to come out clean takes a very different kind of person. To have the level of intellect and general structure and planning to be a successful politician in this country requires a different kind of human being.
Yep.
It
For sure.
requires you to be
ruthless.
and reptilian in many ways
Yep.
to have
Yep.
this. And I'm gonna keep saying reptilian because I mean like non-human.
Yeah.
I mean to be like, no, I'm going to put aside this. I'm gonna put aside all the things in my head that are saying this is wrong because I know it will get me more seats.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying when I say reptilian.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean like you have to be okay with stepping on people in ways that people before that may have not been okay with.
Yep.
You know how there's also a conspiracy theory that the US Senate, how most of them were actually reptilians?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah?
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean,
have you seen Chuck Schumer?
yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah, I get it. I understand. Because a lot of us will be like, how the do these people? Sorry.
I mean, like Malaysia, we have a lot of dark histories
we
also.
have dark histories. We have the Momali incident. I don't know how many people know about the Momali incident.
What was that?
So, in I think this is late 90s, early 2000s, we had quite a few, what's ajaran sesat groups.
Yeah, like what's
Ayapin.
the
Ayapin was a
And the
big
Sky
one.
Kingdom.
But even before GISB, their leader was Al-Akram?
Al-Arkam.
Al-Arkam. So that started around the 80s, 90s, right?
Yep.
Another one was this guy called Ibrahim Libya. And he happened to have a group of people in Kampung Mali in Baling and Kedah. And 400 followers, according to Wikipedia.
in his village.
In his
So
village.
is a cult lah.
Yeah, a cult. In 1985, a team of about 200 policemen under orders of Deputy Prime Minister Musa Hitam laid siege to the Kampung Mali, where 400 people of this Islamic sect lived, and this siege resulted in the deaths of 14 villagers and 4 policemen.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Wow. Did you know about this before?
No,
Did you know about this?
I did not know.
Did you guys know about this?
No?
Kan, tak ada. That's why.
Yeah.
Kena baca.
Yeah, learn your history.
Learn your history because all of this was hidden. All of this was hidden.
Damn.
Yeah, even a lot of people don't even know like what happened in May
13th.
May
bro.
13th.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people still don't know, especially about the young generations, because we don't really talk about it in our schools, in our history
We
books.
should have an old guy on who's
A
actually
historian?
Yeah.
Maybe not a
who saw it.
historian.
I mean,
Who's
not even
like,
historian.
no
Who saw
historian.
it.
Someone was there. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think so. I have some Chinese friends, and they have family members who still talk to them about it, and who are like, hey, watch yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've been through it. I've lost family members.
Yeah.
So like, watch yourself when you are going out and you're celebrating on all these things. And when you have that kind of trauma passed down to a generation, and then the rest of the population don't know about it, you are leading 2 separate lives. Because for a lot of, and I'm going to speak for Malay people because I come from a Malay family, but for a lot of Malay people...
You're Malay?
I thought you were from Johor, dude. I thought you were Bugis or something.
Yo, I wish, man. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, that was another thing actually. You know, there were like 35 or 53 sections of what a person could be in Malaysia up until the British came.
Yeah.
And then they put it down to 3.
Oh wow!
there's
I
like-
did not know
like
that.
In the Malay community, there's like Bugis,
Yeah, yeah,
Java,
yeah.
all that. Yeah.
But then eventually
Patani, Siam.
they just compile everything into Malay.
Yeah. Because it was easier.
And I think that also got us like the majority That's how we became the majority.
It's why correct me if I'm wrong lah, but it's why in Borneo so many dusuns and ibans are still considered Bumi Putra is because they need that vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So wait, what was I talking about? Mamali.
Yeah, sorry to kacau you.
No, dude. Like, which part of this podcast is possible? is actually put outable?
I think we can put out 50% lah.
Yeah.
So far, I think this episode and the previous episode could have been the one that
a lot of stuff
need to be edited the
to
most.
To be fair, we did tell them to begin with that it was going to be conspiracy theories.
Yes, it is conspiracy theories. So just take it with a grain of salt lah.
Yeah, we having fun. Nothing is serious, man.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking about the future
Maybe some
serious.
some of the stuff we were talking about was
or
true.
aliens.
Oh shit! I just found this one that was like an Al Mauna in Kuala Kangsar, which is a militant group.
Okay.
And then the Saud
Yeah, I've
Siege.
heard Fakafas talk about them.
It's the Saud Siege 2000. It was attempted coup by the Al Mauna terrorist group against the Malaysian army.
You know, there's one still terrorist group that's still terrorizing Malays all over Malaysia.
Apa?
But somehow they haven't got rid of it. Got rid of it.
Siapa?
Insurance agents.
Alcohol.
Oh,
Yo. Let's go into this. Okay?
Let's go.
He wants to start. Yo, let's go. Let's talk about this.
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
How big of an alcohol problem do you think Malays have?
Malays have.
Because okay, so here's why I'm asking this. Here's why I'm asking this, because I know illegal, I know haram, all of that's great. People still do illegal things, people still do haram things. Okay, that's just the truth. My question is, how many Malay alcoholics exist that are suffering because it is too hard for them to come out and say like, I have a problem and I need help?
I guess that's a fair question.
Yeah,
I don't know of any. I don't think. I don't know.
Or do they hide it really well?
I think they have to hide it because being a Malay Muslim in Malaysia, it's not something that you can be open about. You know? Especially if you're doing like haram things like drinking or drugs or whatever.
I think you see the behavior though.
You would think, right? But then I've met alcoholics and they hide it really well, dude.
Yeah.
It's because what I've found is that people who have problems with substances and all, they're not the ones passing out. They're not the ones who are making everyone's
ones with
problem.
the highest
They're the
tolerance.
ones throwing up and then everyone has to take care of them.
Yeah.
They're not those guys.
Yeah.
They're the guys who will be able to drink you under the table and be
high tolerance guys.
Yeah, high tolerance guys.
Yeah.
So my question is that like I don't know because I know Malay people who drink. I know Malay people who drink. Right? What?
In 2024?
In 2010. Huh?
My goodness.
What is this?
Haram.
Mana boleh? No, but like I know them, and they are usually the ones who have quite low tolerances. If I'm being honest, they're the ones causing a little bit of problems for everyone.
Yeah.
Kena jaga a little bit.
Yeah.
Very rarely have I met a Malay dude. Actually, no, I've met one Malay guy who can drink everyone under the table and can still drive home.
Wow.
And I like.
Are you that person? No,
I'm not that
okay,
person.
Okay,
I'm not
okay.
that person. I wish I was that person.
Okay.
But like, I'm not that person. But like, I feel like that's the worrying one because then it's like you can wake up and have a drink and it not be a problem.
Yeah.
And that's when it gets weird.
Yeah.
When you start using when you're alone, like it's no longer a social thing.
Yeah.
It's a you thing.
Yeah, it's a problem.
It's
at
a
that
problem.
point,
It's like you need it to feel normal.
Right.
You need
That's
to get
real
to work.
addiction.
That's
Yeah.
real addiction.
Yeah,
You need to get to. You need it to feel normal. You need it to stop the headache that you already have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff. And I'm curious because I don't know. I wish I had a number, but I don't have a number.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us have this number.
No.
No.
Like I said, like from my own knowledge, from the people around me, I don't know of anyone that I even remotely suspect of having a drinking problem.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's like if anything, it's suited to like weekends, every once in a while, party couple.
And the other thing is that Malays, even the ones who drink, don't necessarily drink at home. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you've been to Trek, but it's pretty much 80% Malay.
Yeah, it is. It
Yeah.
is. It used to be, Trek used to be, if I remember correctly, it used to be quite sparse. Like there wasn't a lot of people. And if there was, it was usually expats.
Right,
Or
right,
like
right,
a mixed group. Now Trek is just Malays.
Yeah, it's just a sea
A
of
sea of Malay people. There are some like foreigners occasionally, but very rarely.
Yeah.
It's a sea of Malay people.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, guys, enjoy yourselves. Get home safe. Use a Grab. Have a plan to get out. Like, I believe in harm reduction. So if you are drugs and everything, if you're doing this stuff, I mean, please don't. But like, if you are doing this stuff, have friends, have Grab ready, have water ready, do all the things you can to reduce harm.
Yep.
But my issue is when it starts being questions of like, of when people say, oh, just don't drink, just don't do drugs. Then you end up with a lot of people who have no idea who to go for help when they need help.
Yeah, you're right. And I think that's a problem. I think maybe not a lot of Malaysians, not a lot of Malays, but some Malays do maybe feel like that because they do have problems, and sometimes they turn to like alcohol or they turn to drugs to feel better. And then once they realize, okay, I'm in too deep with this, like how do I stop this? But there's no one that is really providing a hand for help. That's providing a shoulder to cry on or whatever. So so for any Malay guys, or not just Malay, like alcoholics that you feel like trapped in this
you can call
situation.
Call Han.
Yeah, just give me all your boost.
He's
Call
willing,
anyone, man. Call your friends.
He's willing to hear. Yeah.
Talk to your friends.
Talk to your friends. Talk about your problems, and we hope everyone. Mental health is a serious thing.
Man.
Yeah, so
Which brings me to another, which is a little bit of a conspiracy theory, but not really.
Okay.
So straight edge culture. Like I've been looking up straight edge culture. If you guys don't know what straight edge culture is, straight edge culture kind of started in, I guess, New York with Judge, this band called Judge, and by this guy Mike Judge. It was a punk thing. Basically, this idea of no drugs, no drinking. Some people extend it to no meat. Some extend it to no premarital or no promiscuous sex. This idea that we are rebelling against a system and companies that are using addiction as a way to control us.
Right.
So he was coming at it from a perspective of like his parents drunk. I think mom was a heroin addict upper.
Okay.
And he was like, I'm not going to allow these things to affect me anymore. So I'm going to enjoy myself completely, but no drinking, no drugs, no one of this. And it is a thing in Malaysia. If you don't know about straight edge culture in Malaysia, it's a huge thing in Malaysia.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it is. Fucking massive.
But that's not surprising.
It's not surprising.
It's not that surprising.
But you know what also is another thing? Neo-Nazi culture is a huge thing in Malaysia.
Oh yeah?
Skinheads, like racist skinheads who support Hitler and have swastikas on their things, big thing as well.
What?
Yeah, it's a big thing. Big thing. Because they start with the anti-Jewish stuff.
Okay.
And then it goes into other things like Malay supremacy.
When you go down the rabbit hole.
You go down the rabbit hole.
Okay.
And it's a huge thing. You can find it on YouTube as well, of like racist skinheads. But the reason I'm bringing up the straight edge thing is because I've been toying with the idea of straight edgeism and even like veganism, because I'm like, you know what? Actually, it is weird that these companies are making so much money off substances that are kind of bad for us. And we are allowing it. Like it's not 1984, it's the other one, Brave New World, where Aldous Huxley, something like, where it was like we will not lose control by people taking it from us, but we will lose control by giving it voluntarily.
Sorry, can you see that again?
So we will not lose control of ourselves by people taking it from us, like in 1984, where it was like a party situation.
Okay.
But we will lose control by giving it voluntarily. So for example,
COVID lockdowns.
Yeah, lockdowns. So like privacy things with ads on Facebook, saying giving like our information and everything. Same thing with alcohol and drugs, where it's like, I know this is not great for me, but I'm going to use it because why not? Like I want to feel better.
It's there, right?
It's there.
Yeah.
And I don't want to blame people for using it, because at the same time I get it. Life is hard, bro. Capitalism is I get it. But at the same time, it's like, isn't there a sense of rebellion that comes from choosing to abstain from these things and live your life as fruitfully as possible and be the punk that you are outside of these things?
I don't know. I think if you get rid of all those things, you're no longer who you are. You're a different person.
That's the question. Are you different? So I've come at this from a perspective of, okay, so I'm gonna how do I take care of myself in this situation right now?
Tread carefully.
Okay, I have a friend. Who uses drugs. Okay,
Okay.
and he says he uses drugs to maintain creativity and to open up his mind to relax and everything.
Okay.
Understand?
But if you can get to that place with the use of drugs, doesn't that mean you can get to that same place without drugs as well? Because it's you.
I
And-
think it depends on what type of drug. I think if it's marijuana, I think it's possibly like
Who mentioned
that's
marijuana, man?
We're talking about drugs.
We're
right?
talking about drugs, yeah,
we're
that's
talking
fine.
about drugs. So if it's marijuana, I think that is most likely that whatever ideas that he gets, it's from him.
Yeah.
But I think if it's more like psychedelics,
Yeah.
I think that chemicals that can alter your brain. I don't think that's no longer you. It's like an effect
Right.
of that drug. That's what I think.
Because I'm like, for me, I'm just thinking like, but the stimulus is always you. You're the common denominator, though.
No, but you need something to like spark it. You know what I
Of
mean?
course.
Okay, maybe your friend, maybe he does have it. Like it's in him, but maybe sometimes he just needs that little kick.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just, my thing is like, maybe it's just a quicker route, but the destination is the same.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
What do you
no
think,
idea.
BJ?
I don't know. For me, it's like I'm more libertarian than anything. So
Yeah.
when it comes to these kind of things, it's like to each their own.
Yeah,
like,
you do you.
We're all humans. Like
From a legal standpoint, like,
yeah,
fair.
and we're all adults.
But you specifically?
I know, man. It's I would say I don't have any ill will to people who do use it. I understand why some might want to, but I also don't necessarily approve of heavy drug use.
Yeah. lah.
Yeah. So I think I just leave it at that.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
that's fair.
Okay. Very democratic.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we'll get into.
Someone has to be prime minister one day. Someone has to.
Fair. Honestly, fair enough.
Okay, I think we'll get into probably like the biggest conspiracy theory in Malaysian history lah.
Sure.
Yeah, I would say in Malaysian history.
Yeah, in
isn't it?
Malaysian history,
Yeah,
I think is because
I mean, to be fair, it's quite recent, lah. Yeah, that's true.
yeah, I mean like it happened like nearly 10 years ago, in 2015, right?
no, 14.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
I remember when it happened. Okay, we're talking about MH370.
I think a month ago was a month or 2 months ago was
Yeah.
the
Anniversary.
Was the anniversary.
Yeah. it was-
Okay, so basically when the plane MH370 disappeared, it was all over the news. CNN covered it, Fox covered it, American news, everywhere on Twitter. It's everywhere. So because it went missing, like they couldn't find anyone from the plane. Obviously, a bunch of conspiracy
Did
theories
they
came
ever
up.
find any parts?
I don't think so.
Allegedly they did.
Allegedly lah, they found parts of the plane.
But
there were no
black box
bodies.
tak ada kan?
There were
Black
no
box tak
bodies.
ada.
No, never any bodies.
Yeah.
But they never found the black box. The transponder never found. But they did find like a couple of things, like minor things, like off the coast of Madagascar and
yeah.
Africa, I think.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
And apparently, like, how there were some Chinese nationals in the plane. So like a week or 2 weeks after it happened, the family members and friends of these Chinese nationals called them on their phone, and
19 of them in total. 19 people
19 of them.
in
So
total.
the family members called their phone numbers, and apparently it was still ringing. After,
Not engaged,
Not-
not
yeah.
like straight to voicemail. It was
Yes.
actually ringing.
So it could possibly mean that they're still alive. The phone is
I
still
didn't
there.
know
The
this.
battery is still there. They still have the connection.
and they are connected. Yeah.
And they still have connection.
And they're connected. Yeah.
And that's what
I didn't know this.
Yeah, and
Oh,
that's why the Chinese, the families of these Chinese nationals, urgently like went to the Malaysian, like like our prime minister and stuff like that. They just we need to find them because we can still contact them. Like, we know that they're still somewhere.
phone is
the
there.
phone is still there. Like the battery is still there. The connection is still there. So they have to be somewhere. So that's what and that was one of the.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. Another conspiracy theory is that the flight's disappearance was actually predetermined based on numbers. Okay, this is
Or numbers of people in the plane?
on the number of 37.
No, like numerology.
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 Okay, so this is, I mean, it's obviously a conspiracy theory. But, okay, so,
I think this is the wackiest one.
yeah, this is the wackest one.
Yeah.
So, flight 370 disappeared on the 3rd of July, which is 37,
37, yeah.
while reportedly traveling 3,700 kilometers an hour, the plane. And it flew at an altitude of 37,000 feet. So people were saying like it's predetermined, like
37.
Yeah, 37. Another conspiracy theory is that North Koreans hijacked the jet.
Oh.
Yeah, as conspiracy.
For what purpose?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, it's just a conspiracy theory. Another one that I had was that the Illuminati did it for whatever reason. Maybe someone in the plane discovered the key to curing cancer. I don't know.
What
And
if the Illuminati are North Korean? Right?
No.
No.
Because in my head, I'm just like, no,
Yeah.
The thing with North Korea, and every time they get involved with something, I'm always aware, like, no, you guys are idiots. Like,
Yeah,
you guys are
yeah,
really
yeah,
dumb. I want to say, like, you're smart. You're not, though.
Yeah.
Okay. On 370, my last conspiracy theory is that an otherworldly portal could have sucked the plane.
Yes.
Like maybe the plane went through a black hole or something. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, but that's some of the conspiracy theories that people have been talking about, you know, when it comes to
that's like
MH370.
Bermuda Triangle.
Something like
Yeah.
that. So what do you think about the MH370?
I don't know.
Well,
Because I want to.
did you follow it when it happened?
Yeah, I did. And the things I'm aware of is how, like, what's the word? How incapable Malaysia's response to it was.
Right.
Was because one of my friends writes for this other podcast called The Matcha Men.
Okay.
And the whole premise of this podcast is that one person knows all the information, the other one doesn't.
Okay.
And they had to do like 3-4 episodes on MH370 because there were so many times where the Malaysian government knew about something and they were like, oh, let's just wait for a few days. And then they were like, oh, we need to actually do this right now. So listen to that podcast if you guys want to listen to that podcast. But like, there's a lot of stuff. Outside of that, I don't really know what MH370 is. Like the North Korean hijackers, all of that stuff, I don't really know. I just know, like, in terms of finding it, we were quite
I mean,
incapable.
all these conspiracy theories came up because we couldn't find
Because there was no disclosure.
Because there was no disclosure.
So that's why all these conspiracy theories popped up.
Yeah.
You know, and I think BJ was mentioning about like some crazy conspiracy theories.
Yahweh.
Yeah. Okay. So these are not conspiracy theories. These are
Facts.
actual facts. After the fact that people have found out over the years, over the last 10 years. Okay. So where do you want me to start? Okay. Okay.
What?
I think
crazy.
I think we should start with. I want to debunk a really important thing, which is the suicidal pilot narrative.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Okay,
don't
so
think that's fair.
there was a narrative. I think there still is a narrative, especially after the Netflix documentary came out recently, that the captain, Zahari Ahmad Shah, he was the one that was ultimately blamed and felt to be culpable. He apparently was depressed and committed suicide.
Yeah.
That was at least the narrative about him. So you'd be quite surprised to know that his wife and co-workers report him to not be under any sort of distress at the time of the flight happening. And also there is no actual evidence that he planned this whole thing to happen.
Yeah.
Okay,
No
because
reason for him to do that.
apparently there was in the days after the whole situation happened, they raided his house and they found flight simulator data that he had a home flight simulator, and they had flight simulator data of one of the routes that he was practicing was apparently very similar to the route that MH370 took over the Indian Ocean.
Okay.
Okay.
And where it disappeared, right? Like it flew 5 hours after passing the Straits of Malacca. It flew 5 hours into the Indian Ocean. This actually happened. Okay, so apparently the prevailing story at the time was that they found flight simulator data that showed that he was practicing this route, one of the routes that he was practicing all the time. And the FBI confiscated his computer and found that was not true. He was actually practicing a route that was quite frequently taken amongst Malaysian pilots, which is from KLIA to Jeddah Airport.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a very, very common route, and it mimics the route all the way up to the Andaman Sea, and it splits off with the actual 370 route. Okay. So he keeps going the Jeddah route keeps going west, and he goes southwest. Okay, so the 370 goes southwest. So that in itself is already a deviation. Yes, that's one. And then the actual MH370 flight route that was tracked did not actually match the Inmarsat data. So they found that one of the things that has to happen on a commercial flight is that they have numerous handshakes with different radars as they get to their destination, especially international flights, especially flights that fly over the ocean.
Okay.
So these handshakes happen at hourly intervals.
Yeah.
Okay. And there was a place where they termed it, the investigators termed it between the 7th and 8th handshake of the flight, where they basically did a figure 8 turn. MH370 did a holding pattern figure 8 in between these two, in the region in between these two handshakes. Okay, so don't know what that was for. And the matching flight route only, like I said before, only matched up until the Andaman Sea and then split off. So that pretty much debunks the idea that he was somehow planning and was responsible for this. Okay. So you said earlier about Chinese nationals, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the Chinese nationals that were on board, okay, this is where it gets spicy. Okay. So on board MH370, there were 20 employees of an American company, a US-based company called Freescale Semiconductors.
Okay.
Have you ever heard this?
No.
No, right? Okay. On top of that, with those 20 employees, in the cargo hold, there were 487 pounds of lithium-ion batteries.
Okay. Yeah.
For what?
Nobody knows, but it was in the cargo hold. Okay. It was traveling to Beijing as well. Okay. So lithium-ion batteries, if any of you don't know, are meant for smartphones and electric cars.
Yes.
Okay. So which is a big initiative for China at the moment, especially in the last 10 years, right? Okay. And on top of that, there were 2 Iranians on board. If you guys remember this, there were 2 Iranians on board who were traveling on fake passports.
Oh yeah, stolen passports. Right?
Stolen. Was it stolen? Stolen passports, okay?
Yeah.
And these 2 were never fully investigated simply because they were supposedly seeking asylum in Europe.
Okay.
But they flew to China.
Okay.
Okay?
That's a bit strange.
That's a bit strange. Okay, now back to the Freescale Semiconductor employees.
Yeah.
Okay? There were 20 employees on the same flight.
Correct.
Okay? And these employees were high-level engineers.
Okay.
Okay, they were not like factory people or anything. They were high-ranking employees in Freescale Semiconductors. Semiconductors, if you guys don't know, the same thing that's in computer chips. You know, the CPUs.
Okay.
You need that not only for computer chips, but basically to run electric cars, all those things. Okay, you need semiconductors. So there were 20 employees on board. With the 20 employees, 12 of them were Malaysian.
Okay.
8 of them were Chinese nationals. Okay? This is the composition of the 20 employees. Okay? So this is where it came out that the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, had leverage on the 8 Chinese nationals. On top of that, the 10 of these employees of the 20 were traveling with all of their families on board.
Oh, okay.
So they had their kids, their wives, their partners on board. Okay?
What was the leverage?
No idea. But supposedly they had leverage on these Chinese people. Okay? So the one thing that China in the last 10 years has been making a push for besides electric cars is quantum computing. Okay? And quantum computing, one of the things that you need is, of course, CPUs.
Yes.
Okay? and CPUs are made with semiconductors.
Yes.
So here's another story about this Freescale semiconductor. A year later, after this happened, they were sold completely, the whole company, to another aerospace defense contractor named NXP Semiconductors. Okay. And the claim is that these people were subjected, were part of corporate espionage, because they were essentially defecting to China. These 20 people, including the 12 nations, they were essentially defecting to China and going to hand over sensitive information to China.
Okay.
That's why they were flying from Malaysia. Yeah. Okay. So the suspects, okay, for who committed or what happened or who got involved with 370. So some people say it's Russia, especially the Netflix documentary. It claims it's Russia. And Russia doesn't necessarily have, at least that we know, the capability to have ghost planes and turn off radar and things like that. Okay, they don't have that kind of technology.
Okay.
And then the other thing is that China was also, in the early days, China was considered a suspect as to maybe they could have done something when it comes to this. But that proved to be false because they hacked our government, the Malaysian government, on 9th of March.
Okay.
When?
2 days after it happened, right?
2 days after MH370.
After MH370 disappeared, they hacked. They hacked specifically they stole specifically crisis meeting minute notes for MH370 and classified information about the plane. Yeah. So they clearly had no idea what the happened. Yeah. They were trying to figure it out just as much as everyone else. Okay.
Or they knew and they were trying to get rid of evidence.
Yeah.
Maybe. But apparently they just stole, like, copied the information and they didn't like delete it or anything. Okay. So
they just wanted to know what we knew.
there's also a conspiracy theory that the plane ended up in the South Indian Ocean, namely the Diego Garcia Air Base, right?
Yes.
So islanders in the Maldives saw the plane flying low towards the Diego Garcia Air Base. That's where this whole story came out. Okay. That's one. There was a petroleum engineer called Mike McKay, saw it from an oil rig in the Indian Ocean. Okay. So some people think that there were some videos coming out of, like, debris in the water on fire and all that on Twitter, and that's unlikely simply because the plane would have basically disintegrated into 1,000 pieces from that height if they had lost contact. And also the Americans knew. The Americans until today, they know exactly what happened to the plane.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How?
Okay. Number one, the MH370 flew over 3 different American air bases. Okay. If you include Diego Garcia, that's 4. Okay. But they flew over 3 different American air bases that all were within the vicinity to have been able to figure out something that happened. See something happen within their radars. Okay, Pine Gap, if you've heard of Pine Gap. Pine Gap is the basically largest intelligence gathering military base in the world. It's in the middle of the Australian outback. Okay, that's one. It was also in a base called the Coco Islands Air Force Base. Also in the South Indian Ocean, and of course Diego Garcia. And also India and Indonesia also had radars on at the time that knew and tracked the flight path of the plane.
MH370.
But that never came out because they flew over India's Nicobar Islands and also flew over the Andaman Islands of Indonesia. So both of those areas have military presence, which would have given them knowledge of the plane flying overhead. And until today, India and Indonesia claim they don't know what happened. Okay, so now let's get to what actually happened.
Okay. Let's
So
go.
what actually happened from I would say amateur but civilian journalists. Okay, people who don't have Wall Street Journal or Washington Post backing and just go at it on their own, like people who like publish their findings on YouTube and people like that. Okay, so one of them, this guy called Ashton, he has found that there had been a leak from an official US military base skiff, where a whistleblower leaked video of the moment of incident of MH370. And that moment of incident is nuts because when you watch it, number one, various experts have watched the video and have failed to debunk the authenticity of the video.
Okay.
So that's one.
Okay.
But another issue is that the plane. I'll try and get the video so that we can post it. But you can see essentially 3 ops circling the plane, sort of like mapping the dimensions of the plane, and.
Okay, so basically this is the last known footage of MH370.
Essentially,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
So, 3 ops circling the plane, and within like I think a few minutes, the plane basically disappears into thin air. You don't see it anymore, and supposedly that is
That's crazy.
that is alien technology. From the whistleblower's perspective, from what they've said, is that is alien technology that was reverse engineered by the US military.
Whoa.
Or contractors of the US military, and now is a functioning of an actual functioning weapon. Okay, so they found the name of the general who was first in command of the operation. Okay, his name was General Dunford.
Okay.
General Dunford is now no longer a general. He has retired. Right after retirement, I think within a year, he was immediately put on the board of directors of Lockheed Martin, who developed the F-35 Raptor, as well as allegedly developed this super alien technology weapon kind of thing.
So okay, all right.
So basically they created this new planes based on alien technology.
Yeah.
So Transformers are real.
Okay, yeah.
aliens are real.
Aliens are real. Okay.
We always knew that though.
Now,
Like, let's be
I'm gonna end it on this, okay?
Damn real.
I'm gonna end it on this. This is the kicker.
There's wild parts.
This is the wildest. Najib knew.
Go.
Najib knew.
Bro, come on, like, that's not that wild. We all know Najib knows.
Najib-
Najib doesn't even know about 1MDB. How does he know about this?
Najib knew 100%
About
everything that happened from A to Z. How he knew? Okay, watch this. In that year, within the 6 months after it happened, Najib played golf with Obama, President Barack Obama, twice in the US. Nobody, no other head of state has that kind of access to the President of the United States. No one ever. Okay? And if you remember, towards the end of that year, 2014, another plane had a mysterious incident. We were shot down above Ukraine, right? MH14, 17, right? Yeah. So MH17 was supposedly retaliation by the Chinese. Yeah.
I thought it was a Russian motherfucker.
Yeah. It was Ukrainian separatists that were using Chinese weapons. Yeah. Those rockets and mortars were Chinese weapons that hit the 17.
Damn.
Yeah. So that was that was supposedly retaliation for the US kidnapping that whole plane.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
My mind is blown.
Your mind is blown?
My mind is blown.
Dude, there's so much more, dude. We could
There's more?
we could go into 3-4 episodes of this and it would be never ending. But there's so much dodgy happening. But you can look into it. Look into Lieutenant Commander Edward Lin. He is the whistleblower.
Okay.
He was the one who released the footage.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
And I think on that note, we're gonna have to end our session for today because we're running out of time. Like you said, this can go on.
forever.
Yeah, forever.
Yep.
To be honest, I don't know if how much of this episode is gonna be able
I'll be real.
to be aired.
Yeah.
We're gonna air it all.
The last 2 episodes.
Yeah,
Yeah, we.
But it's all just conspiracy theories. take it with a grain of salt.
No, this is the truth. This is truth, ladies and gentlemen. You have been sleeping, and now we are awake. I will not go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Stay woke.
Stay woke.
All right. And on that note, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Write down what you think is the conspiracy theory that you think is true. And all right. Thank you so much for watching, guys.
Bye.
See you next time.
Ciao.
Bye.